are. Even recently I conducted a workshop at my office called Design Thinking. So the core value of this process is about innovation and empathy. So around 10 people arrived on time at 2:30 and 30 people promised to come for the workshop, but I wanted to start on time. And one of my colleagues or friends was saying that you are not showing empathy, you are going to teach empathy for next 3 hours, but you are not showing empathy for the people who are coming a little late. They are on the way. I said, I want to empathize on the people who are already reached here. 10 people who are already reached here. I want to value their time. So that was a wonderful speech, but probably you would have chosen a different example. Right? So hope friends, all of you are giving feedback for the speaker on the ballot sheet and feedback form. And I request to all the Toastmasters and guests, I want to reiterate that please use the theme and the word of the day in your speech, and I request everyone to give a thunderous applause when the speaker is using the word, the theme of the day. Now we will move on to the third speaker, and I request Toastmaster Thomas Abraham to read out the objectives of the third speaker.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon, friends. We're going to have Toastmaster Sarathy, who is back in Medley, to give his next project, which is project number 1 from the Advanced Technical Presentations Manual. That project is called the Technical Briefing. The objectives of which are using a systematic approach, organize technical and specialized material into a concise presentation, tailor the presentation to the audience's needs, interests, and knowledge levels. Time of the time is 8 to 10 minutes. All the best, Toastmasters Sarathy.
Friends, our next speaker is one of the past presidents of Medley and currently also a dual member in Meraki. And he is, whenever he comes here, he comes with full of energy, bubbling with energy. Whatever attire he is wearing, but somehow I get a feeling that here he is on stage trying to save his goalpost. Right? So that is the kind of impression I got because of his self-branding as an ardent lover of soccer or football. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Sarathy. Become a king with Prince 2. Become a king with Prince 2. Toastmaster Sarathy.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you especially for subtly commenting on my attire. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How many of you are project managers? Good sign. How many of you have played a key role or have led projects? Some people. Okay, great. Now, a project, put very simply, right, is a new temporary endeavor to bring about some change. And the changes align with your interests or change that you are happy with. And anything that fits this definition is a project. Okay? Coming to the meeting on time using a different route is a project. Setting up a clinic in Velachery is a project. Giving a speech, preparing for a speech is a project. So almost anything that fits this definition is a project, and therefore all of you are by default project managers, if not in your professional lives, definitely in your personal lives. Now, even in the professional space, in the commercial space, right? Lots of commercial projects are there, lots of multi-billion projects, building a metro, building an airport, constructing an interlink. And you'd think with these heavy projects, all these sensitive projects, that they'd be planned effectively and most of them would succeed. But in reality, 70% of all commercial projects fail. 70%. And that's not just in India, but across the globe. Not just in Indian time, but across the globe, 70%. And that's why being effective project managers is very useful. Now, if you're a certified project manager in Prince 2, which is projects in controlled environments, this is a certification, that will help you succeed in your projects. Now, when you're a Prince 2 certified project manager, it's been found that the percentage of projects that fail drop drastically from 70% to just 50% of your projects failing. Now, I'm not here to bore you about Prince 2, but I'm here to give you 7 essential tips or principles from Prince 2 that you can apply to any project in your personal or professional life, and that will help you succeed. Now, principles if you follow in life, right? Whatever principles you follow, even if things fail, even if things don't go away, you can be happy with your conscience, you can rest in peace knowing that I did everything, I followed certain principles, I'm happy with it, no matter what the outcome. The same way in project management, if you follow these 7 principles that I will share with you, you can be satisfied no matter what the outcome, you have done your best, you have followed certain ground rules and guidelines, and no one can question you, even if the project has failed. So So are you ready to hear these 7 principles?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, most important, is continued business justification. Each and every moment you spend on the project, there has to be either a commercial case for it or a case for you investing your time and energy into it. You need to question it. Don't just simply because you have started the project, continue doing it no matter if it's not going to bear any fruit. Right? For example, if you have joined Toastmasters and you have paid a very nominal membership fee, right? You need to question, why did I pay this fee? Am I reaping the benefits of that fee? Is the VPM here? Yes? Amit, right? So Amit won't offer me a speech after this speech. But it's not just about paying the fee and seeing it's not worth it. Am I using this fee to the most of my ability? Should I be asking for more speech slots, more leadership opportunities? And when I'm paying the renewal fee, can I negotiate something with Amit saying, can you give me more speech slots next term? So there always has to be a continued business justification. Question yourself each time you're investing money, time or effort. Is it valid for me to be investing it in this project, or should I be doing something else with this? Okay, that's number 1, continued business justification. The second one is learn from experience. Right? I belong to a case where I'm always very hesitant to ask for feedback, and not because, maybe because, partly because I think I know it all even though I don't, but also because I'm a bit shy or hesitant to ask for feedback. And in doing so, I make a lot of mistakes I could have avoided. And for example, Alagapan, who won the humorous speech contest, right? I'm sure he got a lot of lessons as he learned along from club to area to division. He learned from certain mistakes or things that he did well, and ensured that he either repeated the things that worked well or removed the things that didn't work well. So he learned from his experience, but not just his own experience. Experience of others, of Alex, Thomas Sundaram, I'm sure, Sampath sir, and you would have watched lots of videos on YouTube. So learn from experience. Don't think you know it all. Try and find out the best practices and mistakes others have made so that you don't make the same in your project. Number 3, define roles and responsibilities. Agree those at the start of any project. Not when things are going tough and then you're having a conflict. It's always difficult to negotiate roles and responsibilities then. Agree that at the start. Later, if you want to change, you can, but ensure you have a base to work with. If, for example, you're playing a VPM role and there's a sergeant at arms, someone is meant to greet the guests. It's often assumed one or the other does it, but ensure you know who it is, because the sergeant at arms might be busy. If you're a mentor and a mentee, now the mentor might be waiting for you to give your script, but the mentee might be waiting for you, the mentor, to ask about the script, right? So define how it's going to work, have a very clear way of mapping out your responsibilities. The fourth one is manage by stages. And this is where a lot of projects fail, because they don't manage by stages. If, for example, you're given, say, 5 billions to construct an airport, you wouldn't give that 5 billion on day 1. You would say, I'll have a 3-month window for the first stage. Based on how you perform, I will give you the rest of the money in stage 2. And another reason why you manage in stages and not as an entire chunk or a project is because things will definitely change. You don't spend time detailed planning on the whole project, then things will change a week from now. Right? For example, you have a few Toastmasters in Medley who, when you join as a member, say you will get your DTM in 2020. Right? That's well and fine. You have a timeline to work with, but don't plan each and every detailed stage of your Toastmaster journey on day 1. Plan how you're going to give your CC1. Have that in detail. And have that as stage 1. Review with your mentor after that, and revise timelines after that. That's principle number 4. Principle number 5 is manage by exception. In projects and even in our personal lives, we have a lot of managers or bosses who like to micromanage, find out where each and everything is happening, right? And that can be a bit of an irritant. You have the other extreme, which is mentors like me who don't even know what project the mentee is giving on which certain week, right? You need to have a fine balance of how the managers interact with their employees, or the bosses interact, or the parents interact with their children. You shouldn't be micromanaging everything. At the same time, you don't want everything to be left aloof. This is called manage by exception, where you set certain tolerance limits. Say, within this, it's all in your control. For example, Sundaraman sir, the whole meeting is in your control, but if you're getting out of time, I as the president will step in and advise you on what to do next. Right? You're allowed to function within this time of 3 to 5, but if I see that you're going to overshoot, right, I will not wait till 5 o'clock to come in. I will tell you at 4 o'clock, you need to cut down on table topics. Please manage that with the table topics master. So have certain boundaries or limits and manage by exception rather than every single point. Now the next one, we are on number 6. Six. Okay, we're done with 5, we're on number 6. And number 6 is called focus on products. That's the Prince 2 terminology. It actually means focus on your deliverables or your outputs. What are your outcomes from this project you're expecting? For example, if you are preparing for the Toastmaster of the Day role, that Sundaraman sir was preparing, you wouldn't say, you wouldn't want to prepare by activities. Say, prepare an intro or something like that. You would want to define what are the various deliverables you are expected as Toastmaster of the Day. I have to come up with a theme, that is one product. I have to come up with, within this theme, certain trivia questions, because trivia is the theme. Now define what are those trivia things, right? And within each trivia, how am I going to collect this information? So find out what are the various deliverables of each project you're doing. Rather than simply saying, I'll do this activity, what are the expected outputs, so that you don't miss anything out at the end of the day. That's called focus on products. And last but not least is called tailoring, or tailor to your environment. You might have a certain way of doing things, or a certain plan that you always have in place, but don't simply blindly repeat the same thing every time. For example, if you rehearse with a mentor for a speech, and you send a script, and the mentor then feeds back, and you have a call, that might be fine for a normal speech. But don't use that same approach or same plan when you're preparing for a contest. It needs to be completely different. So tailor to your environment. Don't blindly follow what you've been following. Just because it has worked well in the past, see if it really adds value to what your current project is. These are the 7 principles of Prince 2. Now, you don't need to go, and so we'll just quickly recap on the 7. If you know any, what do you recall? I'm sure Thomas sir recalls. But can I have any one principle that you recall? Define roles and responsibilities. Well done. Tailoring. Well done. Learn from experience. Perfect. Focus on outputs. Focus on outputs of products. Brilliant. Stages. Manage by stages. Excellent.
Manage by exception.
Manage by exception. Wonderful. And one more is missing. Are we done? The first one. Continued business justification. Well done. A big round of applause for all. It might be hard to implement this immediately. I would advise you don't go and try a brute force approach of implementing this, but try and subtly implement all these 7 principles in your personal professional lives. If you do, no one can question you whether the outcome is positive or negative, because you have done these as per the principles, as per your conscience, and at the end of the day, you will master your projects and be a king with your projects. Over to you.